And we'll finish it when the biggest volcano under the sea erupts. All right, how are you, friends? Welcome to Arvin Polo Television. Right now, while you're watching this video, almost 20 volcanoes are erupting around the world. They continue to emit or release ash up to this day. And if you're not in areas where volcanic eruptions are happening right now, then you're blessed. But what if one day when you look out your window, you see with your own two eyes an actual volcanic eruption? What would you do? Most likely, you would run and evacuate your family to a safe place so you wouldn't be caught by the spewing lava and deadly pyroclastic clouds. And in fact, maybe one day there will be nowhere left for you to run. According to scientists, there are almost 1,532 volcanoes on the surface of the world. And throughout history, only 600 of these have been active. And 160 of these erupt every decade. And more than 50 erupt every year. And fortunately, most of them are just small volcanoes that don't cause major disasters. But when the most terrifying volcano erupts, that's a different story. It becomes a nightmare for humanity. And one of the volcanoes I'm referring to here is the mega-sized volcano called Mount Merapi or Gunung Merapi in Indonesia, which means fire mountain. It is located in the central part of the island of Java in Indonesia. This active volcano has a height of 1.8 miles or 3 kilometers. It's like a ticking bomb. It can erupt at any time. And up to now, it continues to emit thick smoke, which serves as a warning to those living nearby that at any time, it could unleash a destructive force. Yes, and another one of the most terrifying volcanoes is carved on the side of the globe in the Central North America region. And it is known as the Yellowstone supervolcano. This monstrous volcano has only erupted a few times in all of history, and its most recent eruption happened 630,000 years ago. So that means it could erupt at any time, and if it does, a global disaster will happen. On the other hand, when it last erupted, it left a huge hole in the world, and this is what's called a super crater. It's now known as the Yellowstone caldera. It has a width of 30 to 45 miles, or 50 to 70 kilometers. And in fact, it has already been made part of the United States of America. Yes, and it is one of their most famous national parks and is recognized all over the world. And don't get me wrong, because the Yellowstone supervolcano is still a huge threat to humanity. And if it suddenly erupts, almost a large part of the United States of America will be wiped out and covered in ash. This is the whole world. Why? Because it will affect the ecosystem and the economy. Now, if you're in the United States of America and you move to the Gulf of Naples, you're still not safe from danger because Mount Vesuvius is here. But for now, Mount Vesuvius is still dormant. But don't get too comfortable because it's considered one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world. Almost 3 million people live near here. And if the volcano suddenly erupts, they could suddenly be gone too if they don't evacuate early enough. However, if this one is called one of the most dangerous volcanoes, the next one is called the City Destroyer, and this is Niragongo. This is also an active volcano located on the continent of Africa, near Virunga National Park in the Democratic Republic of Congo. This volcano has only erupted 34 times since 1882. And when it erupts, its activity can last for months or sometimes even years. It's also concerning because its crater is made up of an active lava lake. And in 1997, its crater collapsed. And the lava inside it exploded and flowed at a speed of 62 miles, or 100 kilometers per hour, and it engulfed, burned, and destroyed everything in its path. And after the lava was expelled, it recharged again. And fortunately for the scientists and engineers, they found a way to prevent it from coming out again. And in fact, the lava inside Niragongo is so beautiful to look at that you wouldn't think it could cause destruction. And now, if supervolcanoes can cause widespread destruction, what do you think would happen if they all erupted at the same time? Doomsday, or the end of the world, would happen. A terrifying nightmare would happen to humanity, and nothing could compare to it. The explosion of many nuclear bombs compared to the eruption of all volcanoes. Just imagine if a volcano erupts, there will be an earthquake, and it will release lava, which will destroy a large percentage of the land. And the worst case here is that the volcanoes will release ash and volcanic gases. And at this point, the layers of ash will rise and go into the atmosphere, blocking the sunlight or the light that the sun gives. And most likely the price of masks will go up again, and of course flashlights and candles too. On the other hand, the darkness all over the world during this time will last for almost 10 years. So that means photosynthesis will stop, and as a result, all the plants will die. And the temperature of the world here will drop to a critical level. However, in our time now, even if the ashes block the sunlight, people like you can find a way to deal with it. But can they really find a way to deal with volcanic gases? These gases are like a death cocktail made up of hydrochloric acid, hydrogen, hydrogen sulfide, and sulfur dioxide. And when these mix with water, they become rain. And the clouds will drop it onto the land and into the water. So the result is that the land and the surface of the water will become polluted. And all the fish and animals that live in the surface water will die. And after that comes the domino effect. Other fish and animals will also be affected. They'll die because the food chain is gone. This will actually happen. It's happened before. According to studies of ancient sediment in rock formations, they found out that a massive extinction of ancient animals happened because of volcanic eruptions. And if there are still humans or animals who survive during this time, they will probably hide in any safe place just to survive the last days of the world. And on the other hand, a single volcano erupting in a country can already affect the atmosphere. And an example of this is the eruption of Mount Pinatubo in our country, the Philippines. It erupted in 1991, and this is one of the strongest eruptions ever recorded. It happened in the world in the past 100 years. The temperature dropped by up to 1 degree Fahrenheit, or 0.5 degrees Celsius at that time. And as a result, an ozone hole formed in Antarctica in the southern hemisphere. And thank God, since then, no such disaster has happened again. But we still shouldn't be complacent, because in reality, volcanoes on land are still small and few in number. Because according to scientists, 80% of volcanic eruptions happen under the sea, and most of them are located in the deepest parts of the ocean, making it very difficult to determine where they are. And just recently, a UPCS at the University of Texas discovered a super-duper uber volcano under the Pacific Ocean. And according to the theory, if this erupts, the whole world will have no chance of survival. This volcano is located at a depth of 932 miles, or 1,500 kilometers off the east coast of Japan. And if we examine the entire area it covers, we can already call it the largest volcano on the surface of the world. The diameter of its crater reaches 388 miles, or 625 kilometers, and the area it covers is 100,386 square miles, or 1. This monster is called Tamu Massif, and according to volcanologists, it has been dormant for 140 million years. And thankfully, there are no signs of it waking up. And if it does wake up, One thing is clear, no living creature in this world would survive. That's why some people decided to look for another planet where humans could live. And Mars is exactly what they're aiming for. They say Mars will be humanity's second home if the endgame happens on Earth. But there's still a big problem here. The largest volcano in the solar system is on Mars, and this is called Olympus Mons. It is 16 miles, 26 kilometers, tall, and its diameter is 335 miles or 540 kilometers. So people really don't have any choice. On the other hand, whatever that may be, there's really only one thing that's clear here. What must happen will happen. Nothing can stop it when nature itself moves and shows its power. Now what would you do if all the volcanoes in the world erupted? Comment down below.